So today's webinar is about health and safety in school. So can any one of you tell me what is this about health and safety in school? Anyone?
Health and safety means to understand your diet, about the diet of the person. If you take something for your diet, proper diet to, for the nutritions and proteins and your calcium, and for the safety, for safety things you can take the safe things, but how to be drive, how to be eat something for the balanced diet.
So no, topic is about health and safety in school. So in school, it is not related with the food. It is related with everything, right?
Right.
So yes, Harpreet.
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, health and safety here includes mental health of the child, physical safety. It's all about, the children should be secure and they are at the safe place. And it includes basic things as we hear in schools about bad touch, good touch. That is, and they should be very aware of the staff around. That all comes under safety. All the attendants, all the from the watchman till all the staff. So they should know how to convey the message to the teachers in case they feel little insecure. And health is all about, I think it's all physical health, mental health, eating habits. Yes, we can guide them what they are carrying with them in school, to the school, and we can focus on healthy habits.
Right.
That all.
Okay. Jyoti most probably raised hand. Jyoti, you want to say something? Okay.
Ma'am, no presentation slides today.
Yes.
It is very easy for understanding now.
Yes, definitely. I will. Yes, Shubha?
Yes, ma'am. Safety is concerned with the child's safety in the sense like electrical equipments should be kept away,
Right.
and good space and healthy lighting should be there for the child, and for a dynamic movement, more space.
Right.
And all objects like a play item should be kept in hygienic conditions, and also the sanitation area. The toilets should be kept clean, and also away from all kinds of insects and things like that. Like the plants should be kept away, basically outdoor plants. I mean, like which are suffocating the school boundary. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Namrata?
Ma'am, all the points have been said, the hygiene thing, the good touch, bad touch.
Yes. Acha. Now I'll present something. Just see, this today's webinar is about health and safety in the school. So what is this health and safety? So health and safety is an important consideration for the school staff. You and your school have a legal responsibility to protect the students from harm, including the risk posed by the health and safety. It is also imperative for you as a staff member to be safe in your workplace. You should also understand the possible hazards, put strategies in place to manage them, and be aware of the role that your employer has in supporting you with this. Okay. Next, the questions come. What do you mean by the health of the school? School health is the comprehensive efforts of developing, implementing, and evaluating services, both within the school and the community, that provide each and every student with the resources needed to thrive within a healthy environment. Okay. School health services must be based on the local health problems of the school child, the culture of the community, and the available resources in the terms of money, material, manpower. While the health problems of the school children vary from one place to another, surveys have been carried out in India indicate that the main emphasis will fall in the following categories. That is, one is the malnutrition, infectious diseases, intestinal parasites, diseases of skin, eye, ear, dental caries. Okay, these are these basic problems you will find in the school with the small childrens. Why do we need safety in school? Anyone can say? Okay, so at school, our children need a secure, positive, and comfortable environment to help them to learn and grow. A safe learning environment is essential for students of all ages. Without that, they are unable to focus on learning the skills needed for a successful education and future. So, what are the main objectives of the school health services in the school? So, the main objective is the promotions of positive health, the preventions of diseases, early diagnosis, treatment, and follow up, awakening the health consciousness in children, and the provisions of healthful environment in the school. Now, what is a school safety? School safety has been defined as creating a safe environment for children starting from their homes to their school and back. So, this includes safety from any kind of abuse, violence, psychosocial issues, disaster, natural and man made, fire, transportation. Emotional safety is a emotional safety is especially important because when it is often difficult for the teachers and the parents to identify what the child is going through, what are the difficulties the child is facing. Bullying can cause a student to suffer from a lower esteem and a daily stress about their well-being. You will find in many schools students are bullied. It affects their mental health. Next, this slide is about child safety checklist for the school. Now, what is this child safety? Child safety is the area which is concerned with limiting the children's exposure to hazards and reducing the children's risk of harm. Children are particularly vulnerable in their nature to accidents prone, and their safety requires different approaches from those for adults. This safety checklist takes into consideration different dimensions of a child's safety and provides indicators under 5 important sections. So, what are they? Section 1, which deals with the physical safety of the child. Section 2, it deals with the emotional and personal safety. Section 3, it deals with the social safety. Section 4, it deals with the emergency preparedness. Section 5, it deals with the cyber safety.
Ma'am, cyber safety.
I'm coming, Sonu. I'll explain each and everything. Now, what is this physical safety? See, physical safety means it is about the school building. So, first point it should come to our mind that is the school building as per to the norms under the National Building Code of India or any other country. Okay. Does the school maintain the standards and the norms of the school as specified? Has the building been certified as the norms as safe for the housing for the students by the local authorities? Is the school building and the premises free from inflammable and toxic materials? So these are the checklist you should or we should as a staff member of a school or the management person should look after all these checklists. Are there ramps at the entry to the school, classrooms, toilets, playground, library, canteen, and auditorium for children with their disabilities? Might be there are students who come to school with a wheelchair or something, but are all these things are there? These ramps are there for this disabled students. This should be also in the checklist. Whether the alarm system or the centralized public announcement system are installed in the school or not, whether there is a CCTV monitoring system monitoring regularly in the classroom or not. It might be in one classroom the CCTV is not working, so it is the responsibility of that particular person to check every day before the school starts or the school ends. That person should regularly check it before leaving the school or before the school starts, that whether everything is working properly or not. Are the electrical fittings in the classroom and corridor working properly and are secured properly? Whether the water coolers and the electrical gadgets, whether they are transferring any shock or not. If yes, then immediate remedial measures should be taken. Has any sparks or short circuit occurred in past 1 week? That should be checked. Are the corridors and the staircases clear of obstructions? Classroom door and the emergency door clear of obstructions or not? Floor evacuation plan displayed properly or not? Fire extinguishers are placed in the proper whether the fire extinguishers are placed properly in each places or not? Any high voltage wires, cables, towers in the school premises are there or not? If yes, how is the access? Whether it is restricted or not, it should be looked by the electrician. Water filter, purifier, RO system, are they functioning well or not? School should have a separate toilets as per the for the girls and the boys. Separate toilets for the children with the disabilities also are there or not? Are there separate toilet blocks for the children for 3 to 6 years of age? Are there attendants for the children in the age group of 3 to 6 years to assist the children? Running water facilities are there in the toilets or not? This should be checked regularly. Toilets are cleaned and maintained regularly. So these are the checklists before starting a school should be done for the physical safety. Next is the fire safety management. What is this fire safety? Does the school have a fire safety certificate? First of all, they should get a certificate from the fire brigade. Okay. Is the fire safety certificate of the school updated and renewed periodically? Does the school have updated the firefighting systems in place to meet any emergency? Is the school in touch with the local firefighting agencies for mock drill training to crisis management group? Are there any emergency steps in place in the school for the fire safety management? Is there a trained management team available in the school for the initial fire hazard management? These are the basic things you should maintain in the school. Next is the flood, cyclone, landslide management. If suddenly this happens, what should you do? Is the school situated in the earthquake risk zone? This must be checked before the school buildings are prepared. How safe is the school building to face a natural disaster of this kind? Are there any emergency steps in place for disaster preparedness at school? Are periodic earthquake drills being conducted as per the guidelines of the NDMA? Have necessary steps been taken during constructions of the building of earthquake safety for the building? So these are the few things you have to check before constructing a school. Next is the electrical safety. What is this electrical safety? How safe are the electrical systems in the school? Are they being checked periodically? Periodically means every alternative day it can be once in a 7 days, it can be once in a month also. So once in a month will be a bit high risk. So it should be, if it is a preschool, it should be checked regularly. Has the school ensured limited access to the area of electrical installation only to those who are required? Means this should be only with that person, access should be given to only that one particular person who understands about the electrical installations. Are there any uncovered wares leaving here or there? So it must be checked regularly. Next is safety from the constructional hazard. What is this constructional hazards? Does the school have any ongoing constructions? In many cases, we can see nowadays that half of the portion, front portion, the school has already started. Backyard of the school, they are still under construction. They are extending. So permission from the local authorities for the construction or the repair has been taken or not. They should have a permission letter from them. Has the school put barricades and the signboards in the construction area prohibiting the movement of the students? Water storage source for any constructions are covered, should be covered to prevent the small children from any possible mishaps. Next is safety in the playground and the sports activity. What safety should they take? In the school, playground should be fenced from every side. Is the school following guidelines and norms, standards laid down by the sports authority? Has the school obtained NOC from the competent authority before starting of sports facilities? Has the school conducted police verification of the staff employed for the sports activities in the school? The coaches employed in the school are qualified or trained. This must be checked. Sports specific standards, safety equipments like helmet, lifeguard, jackets, safety guards, and these are the few things, and etc. These are the things are available for the players when they are in the ground. So, is the school playground safe for the students to play games or not? These all should be checked before leaving the child into the playground. Next is the water security. Now, water safety is the safety certificate for drinking water has been obtained or not? Is the water source well protected or not? Is the water provided to the student tested by the local authorities or local lab that whether it is safe or not? It should be checked periodically also. Does the school ensures safe potable water always? Does the school have a water management system in the event of a fire? Is there access to such sources? Next is the laboratory safety. This is basically for the big students, not for the preschool. Laboratory safety. Are the laboratories in the school positioned as per the rules? Is there a space for a free mobility for students in case of an emergency? Are the chemicals and instruments kept safely beyond the access of others? Is there a first aid box available in the laboratory? Is there a proper ventilation and exhaust facilities in the laboratory? Has the school displayed the first aid procedures for the students in the laboratory? In the school team trained to meet any emergency in the laboratory. If some mishappens in the lab, are they well trained to evacuate the lab and move the children safely to the other place? This should be a person, there should be a person who is well trained about all these things. Next is transport management and safety. What is this transport management? Is the school owning or running buses on lease for the students? Has the school complied with the rules and regulations stipulated by the local transport authorities and guidelines by the Ministry of the Road, Transport and Highways? Are the teachers delegated responsibilities for the transport management? Are the school bus drivers trained and have a regular license? There must be a police verification of the bus, the staff in the bus, mainly the drivers and the helpers they have been appointing. Before appointing them, they should have a police verification. Has the school obtained a signed affidavit from all its employees that they have not been accused of offense under any child-related laws and legislations, particularly POCSO Act? This should be checked very carefully. Does the school ensure whether the students are cautioned to keep a safe distance before starting the bus? These are the things they should be trained before boarding to the bus. Are the students trained by the school in maintaining an orderliness in the buses? Sometimes we often see that they push each other while getting up the bus. So they should be trained that you should stand in a proper line, board on the bus one by one. Have the children been exposed to traffic rules? Fire extinguishers are there in the school bus or not? Whether the seats for the children with locomotor disabilities are reserved in the bus or not? Is there a student feedback system with regard to the transport facility for the driver and for the helper also? Does a teacher or attendant escort the children till their stop after deboarding the bus? So these are the safety measures you should take. Now coming to the section 2, that is the emotional and the personal safety. It is a trauma management. What is this trauma management? Does the school have a trauma management team to meet any accident or disaster? Does the school have the contacts available for the trauma management? Are the senior persons in the school aware of the telephone number of the hospitals, ambulance, and the fire stations near the school? These are the few things we should always keep in our mind. Safety of the children with disabilities. So, are the school and the premises disabled friendly? Are there any designated official in the school who is entrusted with the exclusive responsibility of their needs in any emergency? Here, with the disabled children, they need someone special to give a special care to these students. Whether the students are differently abled are accompanied by the teacher or attendant when using a toilet. Teacher students are educated and sensitive to follow the students who are differently abled. Next is the health. Does the school keep the medical records of the students with the special health problems? Nowadays, we don't differentiate with a special child or with a normal child. Everyone is allowed in a school, right? So, do we keep the medical records of the special students or any students, maybe a normal child is have enrolled in the school, do we keep those records that child is suffering from this or that so that in any emergency we can take care of that child? We should keep that medical records. Is there a doctor on call for emergency in school? Does the school hold a regular health checkups as prescribed by the Department of Education? Individual child health card file is maintained and updated periodically. This must be checked. Parents communicate their child's health issues to the school authority. This should be checked before the child is getting admission to the school. Parents must be very clear about the child's problem. If the child is having any problem, any health issues. Does the school have a tie up with the nearest hospital of the school? Whether the medical room is equipped to handle the medical emergencies? Whether the basic medicine kit, the first aid box, is available in the school? Contact number of doctor, hospital, ambulance, including the private service for emergency medical care, are displayed in the prominent location. This must be there. Teachers and key staff are trained in first aid and CPR. Whether they have basic training in the counseling, identification of the disabilities, learning difficulties, etc. Whether health education to students on health issues, including balanced diet, nutritious alternatives to junk food, regular eating habits, personal hygiene, etc., are provided or not. Next is our sanitation and hygiene. We've discussed this before. Then also, the sanitations and hygienes, that are there separate toilets for boys and girls? Are there toilets for the children with the special needs? Whether toilet doors have child-friendly latch? Does the school regularly conduct hand washing sessions for the children? Regular inspections of water sanitation facilities are being conducted or not? Hygiene messages have been integrated into the textbook curriculum or through supplementary reading book or reading materials are given to them or not? A regular basis of maintaining the hygiene before a child should wash hand before having food, and after having food also they should wash their hand. So this type of trainings are given or not. Next is the safety of children against the sexual abuse. Does the school have a grievance committee on a child sexual abuse? All teaching, non-teaching, contractual and other staff is sensitized on the CSA committee and the child laws or not. CSA is child sexual abuse. All the teaching and the non-teaching staff is specifically trained to be alert to signs and the indicators of the child abuse. The school should teach them what are the good touch, what are the bad touch. Is there a recruitment and a verifications of the protocol and the procedure in the place for teaching, non-teaching, contractual, voluntary, and other staffs before they are allowed to work with the children, whether they are well trained or not? Social and emotional safety. Are the children given guidance and trained on adequate age, appropriate social skills in managing the emotions and building a healthy peer relationships? Sometimes we often see that there are children with a communication problem who are bullied in the classroom, and if they are bullied also, they will step back, they will not move forward to have a healthy relation with their peers. Is there an anti-bullying committee in the school? Are children aware of anti-bullying committee? Through conducting a session on a life skills, are students taught coping skills to manage fear, anger, and stress and prevent abuse on self or others to build a self-esteem and confidence among the students? Are all types of bullying is discouraged and prohibited in the school premises? Teachers should look after this. Even they should see also that there is no criticism, no rude language, and malicious gossiping in the classroom. Next is your cyber safety. Now, what is this cyber safety? Now, cyber it is the access to the computer room and use of electronic and technological devices by the students supervised by the teacher. Are social networking sites blocked in the school computers? Are students regularly educated on safe usage of technology and how to be responsible to be a digital citizen? Sensible use of mobiles, SMS, MMS, internet, mail, or net chats affects the plagiarism and how to avoid the risky behavior among themselves. Are the students educated to understand their responsibilities, the consequences under the laws on cyber misuse, bullying, harassment, etc.? Are the school authority and the children oriented on the procedures to be followed and steps prescribed with the legal framework in the event of a cyber abuse or crime? Legal resources and informations about the cyber crime department in the police. Are cyber crimes handled with sensitivity and confidentiality? Any question till now? Any doubts? Yes, Harpreet?
Yes. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Tell
Ma'am,
me.
my doubt is that you have said CPR. What is the term CPR for?
CPR, actually, it is a life saving. We do it in this way: press on the heart. That is a CPR. We press the hand in this way. If any emergency of blockage or something, the patient or the child cannot take breath, so we put the hand in this way. We give a pressure on the chest. That is CPR. That is a life saving thing. That is CPR.
And ma'am, differentiate between disability and normal child. So it is like before the admission.
Pardon?
As you said, the staff should be there to differentiate between the normal child and the disability child.
No, no. Staff is the thing is like that. See, suppose you have a school, right?
Yes.
You don't know that I came with my daughter. You don't
Yes.
know what my daughter is suffering from. Okay?
Yes.
I have hide it. It is the responsibility of the counselor to knock the parent about the health of the child, right? If the child is suffering from anything, any problem, maybe asthma, some breathing problem, maybe some allergic to something, right? So they must inform the counselor, that is to the school, and we will have to, I'm sorry, you should have a medical report, that is a file for that particular child, and you have to keep that in your mind. Okay, now suppose if a child is allergic, right? Sometimes in preschool we have some theme based classes, right, on fruits and vegetables, right? So what we do, we even ask the children to have fruits. We even ask them to share your food with the others. If you are not aware of it, that the child is allergic to egg, suppose we don't know, the other person don't know, but you as a counselor, you know that the child is allergic to egg. So that is your responsibility to go ahead and ask not to give him or her egg. This is the thing. And disabilities might be there. There are some students also, they have some limping problem. That is the limp. So if the parent sometimes limp, sometimes the child walks normally, right? So when you saw him that while entering into the school, he didn't limp. So you don't know anything about. But it is the parent's responsibility also to inform that the child limps sometimes. So for that reason, the child should not be bullied. It is our responsibility. Because see, when you bully a child, that is the child's weakness, right? So they get emotionally drained out. So it is a responsibility of that is our counselor, the administrator, to look after this.
So secondly, ma'am, mostly what I have observed when kids are stammering, even at the stammering doesn't go. So and the pronunciations are also not very clear. So
Right.
parents' expectation is why my child is not speaking clearly. It's been 6 months, it's been 9 months, and we don't see any improvement in that. So in that cases, I have observed like children who stammer, even they stammer after 6 years also. That is very strong, in that.
Yes.
So certain cases, how we have to handle the parents, and secondly, is there any session which is meant for administering or maintaining the records?
Yeah. Thing is like that. See, we have often found that child at small age that they stammer. They do not pronounce the word properly. It is our responsibility as well as the parents' responsibility also to pronounce the word very clearly and show the child their lip movement. Right? Suppose you are asking, bring me a glass of water. So if you pronounce the words separately, slowly in front of that child, slowly it degrades, slowly it goes down. Pronunciation will also improve. Parents and the teacher also, they need to speak with the child in slowly. You know that that child stammers, but it is your responsibility. You are in a class, suppose you are giving a running lecture, you are running to write something, some dictations also, right? So it is your responsibility as a teacher to go near to the student and say slowly, so that he or she can understand what you are saying, and this is the way it will improve. And if it is not getting, then he or she needs a speech therapy. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Acha. Next is the first aid kit in school. What is this first aid kit? So these few things should be kept in the school. All schools should be equipped with the first aid kit containing thermometer, that is roller bandage, gauge pad, lotion, like Savanol or Dettol, something like that. Then betadine, soframycin, that is an ointment, spleens, some tray, cotton, iPad, band-aid, scissor, box, ice bag, hot water bottle. So these are the things must be there in the first aid kit. Okay. Now, health and safety, the responsibilities and the duties for the schools. Now, what is the responsibility? Responsibility is a school must appoint a competent person to ensure they meet their health and safety duties. A competent person is someone with the necessary skills, knowledge, and experience to give a sensible guidance about managing the health and safety risk at the school. Now, second is the elements of the health and safety policy. So every health and safety policy is separated into 4 elements. What are that? That is the plan. Leaders should set the directions for effective health and safety management. Next is do. That is the introduce a management system and practices that ensures risks are dealt with sensibly, responsibly, and proportionately. Check, that is monitoring and reporting. What is this monitoring? To check the electrical gadgets, the water sources, each and everything regularly. And if there is anything, to report to the concerned person. And act, that is the formal management review of health and safety performance. Third is the staff training. What is this staff training? When you are owning a school, the school must ensure that the staff receives all the informations and training about the health and safety. This includes how to assess the risk specific for their job, how to meet their roles and responsibilities identified with the health and safety policies, how to handle a small kid, how to handle a disabled child. These training must be given to these staffs. Fourth is review and evaluation. Now, all schools should regularly monitor and review their health and safety policies to ensure they are reducing risk. As part of this monitoring, schools should investigate incidents to ensure that they are taking appropriate corrective actions, they are sharing learning, necessary improvements are put in place. Now, what are the checklist? Checklist are slip, trips, and falls. First thing, is the floor in the classroom in good condition? You can make a chart like this. Yes, further action required, not necessarily needed. Whatever like that, you can draw lines and you can make a chart like this and you can monitor in this way. So is the floor in the classroom in a good condition? Are there any changes in the floor level or type of flooring that needed to be highlighted? Are the aisles or the walkways between the desks kept clear? Are the minimal trailing electrical leads and cables are all in good position? Are all the wires out of reach and hidden as per possible? Are there procedures in place to deal with the splitches, examples, water, blood from cuts? These are the things. For stand alone in the classroom, are access steps or ramps properly maintained? Are the stairs or the ramps provided with the handrails? Because while getting down from one stage to the other, is there is a handrail or not, so that the child can hold it and get down? So these are the things, few things you have to keep it in your mind. All the classroom entries and exits kept clear or not, the window opener provided for opening high level windows or not. So these are the few things you can keep it in your mind while looking for the safety of the school. Now the furnitures and the fixtures, whether they are in a good conditions or not, uh, which are not overloaded, especially the cupboards, the bookcase we do have in the classrooms at the corner, at one side, it shouldn't be overloaded. Whether the desks are in a good conditions or not, the stands of the desk, the bench of the bench, the stand of the benches also, you should be checked regularly. Okay. There are any adequate storage for the learning materials and the equipments in the classroom? The Are the hot surfaces guarded with a prevent risk of burns? Hot surfaces, you can say that if there is at the top floor of the class. So these few things you need to keep it in mind when you own a school. Computers, if the staff use computers, has a workstation assessment been completed? Have pupils been advised about good practice when using the computers? After using it, they should switch off the lights, the switch, everything of the computer room. This should be asked every time when the student entering into the computer classes. After using it, just switch off the lights, fans, and the switches. Now, ventilation and the heating. Does the room have a natural ventilation or not? Can a reasonable room temperature can be maintained during using the classroom? Proper ventilation is there or not? This must be checked. The trolleys being provided for moving heavy objects, that is computers, trolleys are given or not, whether the trolleys which are given, whether it is properly managed or not, whether it is in a good condition or not, these should be checked, which are manually handling by the students or the staffs. Electrical equipments and the services, whether they are switched off or not after the uses, whether the plugs, switch, and the sockets are in a good condition or not, this must be checked. Do the school have a portable electrical equipments or not? Are all the electrical cables routed out to prevent the tripping circuits? These all electrical equipments and the services must be monitored every day by the concerned person. So, Sonu, is it clear to you now? What is the cyber risk and everything? Any question? Yes, Harpreet. Namrata, coming to you. Yes, Harpreet.
Sorry, ma'am. Ma'am, all these things are we have to keep in mind in case we are running the school up to grade 5 or grade 10, right?
Yes.
For preschools, all
Preschool, even preschool. See, preschool maximum what we happens, we generally allow with the plastic chairs and
yes,
table, or we ask the child to sit on the eva mat, right? But even we train them to sit on the table on chairs also sometimes, right? So that should be checked. Sometimes often happens the small seat, the single seat, the that thing stand, it breaks. So we should have look into that every time before starting the school or after closing the school. When the school ends up, there must be someone who can check all these things, everything, whether the toys are kept in a proper place or not. In the Montessori school you have some wooden equipments also.
my voice is breaking.
Yeah, clear now?
Yes, ma'am. Please repeat.
Before leaving the school or before starting the school, it should be monitored by someone who is looking after this.
Yeah, ma'am. Those basic things are mandatory. For example, flood, cyclone, landslide,
Mhm.
uh, such which are on higher level.
Mhm.
Is this also required? Like how we can handle? Like we are
Obviously,
not.
see, flood is not not necessarily like that, but thing is like when earthquakes is there, what are the safety measures you can take? Certain with the fire also. If from any short circuits, if the fire is there, what are the steps you should take? Initial step, that is a fire extinguisher you must have in your school.
Yes, ma'am.
Trained staffs must be there who can handle the situation, at least who can use a fire extinguisher. And even there should be a person who can very safely put all the children out of the school. So these are the things a person, the concerned person, should have been trained before taking that person into your school. These are the few things. Yes, Namrata.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, you talked about the traumas,
Hmm.
that the traumas can be physical as well as mental.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask that sometimes even the parents are not knowledgeable enough, or they haven't observed their child enough that they are, you know, aware of the traumas. So how to deal with that and how to break it to the parents that their
Yes.
child is suffering from
First,
something
as a
particular.
teacher, first thing you will observe this. The child will be kept quiet, doesn't want to mix up with the other peers. So these are the few things you will observe. So first the thing is that you as a teacher, you can call that child closer to you. You can ask the child what is the problem. Sometimes now the child feels like second mother to the class teachers, right?
Yes.
So they can share their problem. Now, after sharing the problem, if you think that you should share the problem with the parents, you can have a PTM, you can talk about the problem of the child, and you can share that this is the problem of the child. Now, tell me what we can do.
Like I had one student who was like, when his mother had a second child, so he was ignored completely. So it was really a trauma for the child. But I asked them that is something like this happening, but they were in total denial, complete denial that we are not doing this.
Yes, yes. So in that case, now as a teacher, you can do one thing, that you can just pacify that child that it's good to have a younger one. You are the elder one, so you can play with him or her every time. You have a constant friend. So you have a friend in a school. So anything it happens, you have to move it into a positive thing.
Well, that particular child was in complete horrible depression, I should say. Horrible
It
depression.
happens. It happens.
Then later he was sent to like therapies and stuff very, very, very late in that condition. His parents started to agree that yes, their child is coming off with something, he is going through
From the
something and stuff.
very first, when they conceived for the second one, they should have told the child that one of your friend is coming. So in this way, they could have consoled the child from the day one. This
Okay.
couldn't have happened so far.
Okay.
This is the thing. It happens.
No, it was like the extreme child. I
Yeah.
was very young at that time as a teacher also, so I didn't know that something like this could also happen to a child. So
So it
it was
happens. It
difficult.
happens.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, welcome. Any questions? Any more? Okay, so let's wind up. If you have any doubts, you can definitely get back to me.